Hello and welcome to the Franchise Life. My name is Stacy Shannon and I am your host. Today's podcast is going to be focused on franchise trends for 2023. Since this is a new year, people are making new goals, and perhaps this is the year you are going to decide that you want to invest in a business. So to get started, I have broken down there's over 30 franchise segments. So I am going to focus on the top 5 that I see are going to be big in 2023. So to start, home services. Many people get confused on what home services actually is, but franchise concepts come in many shapes and sizes in this category. But focus on one thing, and that is any concept in home services is going to be focused on improving clients' quality of life by offering user-friendly services focused on the home. Now, this can be inside or outside of the home. So just to put this into perspective, many home services franchise concepts are home-based business models. That means that you do not need a brick and mortar. Perhaps you may need light industrial space, but typically you can run the business from the comfort of your own home. So a couple areas that have just been really prominent growth areas within home services is number one, restoration. So what is restoration? Many people think it might be like refurbishing a chair or something like that. What I am focused on in restoration is franchise concepts that deal with water, fire, mold damage, natural resource damages. So these types of businesses are simple, they're scalable, they are non-seasonal based concepts. And they many times just require a van, some equipment, and you may start with 1 or 2 employees. Think of the this is January 2023. Across the United States, over the holidays, many regions experienced just devastating seasonal weather as far as snow and rainfall and so forth. So think of pipes bursting, basements flooding. Those are the types of services restoration would be addressing. So this is, again, home-based business model. One concept in this area that has grown substantially over, I would say through 2021 and 2022, their total investment level would be between $87,000 and $200,000. Now, when you think of that, if you needed a small business loan out of pocket for you to invest, that would be anywhere between, say, $20,000 to $40,000 out of pocket. And this specific concept has 28.5% net margins. That is significant. Okay, moving on. Another area is painting. You might say, Stacy, there are so many painting concepts out there. It's a very competitive industry. Well, what you're looking for here are differentiators. And there are a couple of concepts that have emerged. One is focused on luxury painting, and this would be homes of value of 1 million plus, say. Another one is focused on painting product that typically can't be painted. So think of aluminum and vinyl siding, stucco, brick, front doors and garage doors, windows, etc. So many different opportunities, revenue streams, etc. So in this area, again, we're looking for proprietary products, differentiation, and so forth. So an example of a concept in this segment of painting for home services, total investment would be between $132,000 and $185,000. And this specific concept I am talking about has average gross margins of 59%. Wow, that is incredible. Okay, the number 2 segment of franchise trends of 2023 would be real estate. And even though we have gone through some ups and downs in real estate, the market is a little bit volatile right now, but real estate tends to stand the test of time. So my 2 examples for real estate in franchise investment opportunities, number 1 is a full service vacation rental property management company. So think of an individual that owns multiple rental properties, and they post them on Vrbo, Airbnb, any of those vacation rental sites. Well, the owner of this concept would be the one to manage those properties and would take a small percentage of the owner's, say, rental cost to do that service for them. So daily activities would be acquiring new rental units, growing your portfolio of rental units, and managing really the cleaners and say anybody needed for handyman services per se. So the total investment for an opportunity in this segment is between $75,000 and $162,000. And again, this is a recurring revenue model, minimal staff. You could start out with yourself plus 1 employee, or you could be a semi-passive owner and put a manager in charge and manage the property that way. All right, my number 2 in real estate would be non-medical assisted living homes. Now, this actually is a 2-play investment or 2 segments. You are servicing the senior care community, and you are also making a real estate investment in a home. So what does this look like? This one is a little bit non-traditional when you think of franchising. So what happens is you, as an investor, you would buy a home, or there is the option to lease a home, and you would open it up to anywhere between 6 to 12 seniors, depending on state regulations. So these are individuals that are really looking for independent living within a boutique style community. The homes would range between 1,700 to 3,500 square feet, and each resident is going to pay between $6,500 to $10,000 a month for a single room within that home. So think about that for a moment. And this is also a concept that will have a insurance play. So as an individual that has long-term care insurance per se, you as the owner, you could leverage their long-term insurance as payment. Okay, for this one, total investment is going to be between $118,000 to $792,000. It is really going to be dependent upon that investment of the home. All right, moving on. Segment number 3, for franchise trends of 2023 is health and wellness. Think about our community today. Since COVID, I would say there is a hypersensitive need for health and wellness and safety. So this is a segment that many people think that you actually need a medical degree or background to be an investor of, and that is absolutely not true. So one type of concept in this segment is focused on mental health clinics. There has never been a time in our society where mental health or therapy services are more accepted. I mean, I'll use a real life example that many of us are aware of. So within the past month, we heard that Twitch, who was an executive producer for the Ellen DeGeneres show, died by suicide. Well, this is a perfect example of somebody that needed mental health services. Very, very sad story. There are many different reasons. If you are somebody who is looking to make a difference in your community, this is an absolutely great concept to consider. And this is also a concept that can be almost fully passive. Now, I say that it is definitely semi-passive unless you're a licensed therapist. But really what you would do is the brand will help you hire a clinical director. That clinical director will then manage the therapist. So think of strong recurring revenue stream, an insurance-based business, flexible hours, telehealth, all great attributes to this model. And this specific concept that I'm speaking of, the total investment range is between $200,000 to $400,000. So it's still a very acceptable range. So the second category within health and wellness that I would like to focus on is anti-aging wellness and med spas. So think of hormone replacement therapy, IV vitamin infusion, nutrition guidance, weight loss, Botox, hydrofacials, body sculpting, medical grade skincare. There are multiple brands out there that focus on these types of services that really focus on helping individuals feel better of themselves, both from the inside and the outer. So investments in this range, because they are going to be brick and mortar, they're going to be a little bit more capital intensive. They are going to start around the $325,000 range and go up, depending on the concept. But within anti-aging wellness and med spas, or I should say just health and wellness in general, there are also chiropractic, physical therapy, non-surgical regeneration type concepts that are out there. So a lot of different options. All right, moving on to the number 4 top franchise categories of 2023 trends would be the pet industry. This is one that is near and dear to my heart. I have a dog that his name is Miles. He's a mini golden doodle. And since my kids have left home, he has taken the number 1 spot in my heart. Now, I say that lightly and kind of kiddingly, but he is pretty awesome. So the pet industry, now listen to this. In 2022, the pet industry was $261 billion market. That number by 2027 is going to catapult to $350 billion globally. Think of the opportunity that resides within the segment for business ownership. So the pet industry, it really offers, I'd like to just break it down into home-based business models and more brick and mortar or mobile. So when we think of home-based business models in this industry, think of pet care. That would include walking dogs, pet sitting, transportation to the vet, medication, and so forth. And it's not just exclusive to dogs. It could include cats. It could include gerbils. Maybe if you have a bearded dragon, it could include that. I'm not sure. But for home-based business models in the pet industry, the investment range can start as low as $80,000. So when you think of an $80,000 investment, that could be as little as $16,000 out of pocket with a small business loan. All right. The next segment then in the pet industry is that I'd like to focus on is mobile pet grooming and dog boarding. So mobile pet grooming, what that includes is really you're investing in a truck and you are providing personalized services to individuals, going to their homes and providing the services within your mobile spa in front of their house. These services can include dog and cat grooming, bathing, haircuts, eye and ear cleaning, nail trimming, what have you. So that is a great segment to also consider. And many times those will start around, I would say, around the 200K mark. And then when we think of dog boarding, that is going to be a little more capital intensive, of course, because that will require a brick and mortar. But many times you do get a recurring revenue stream because it can serve as a place for owners to drop their dogs off while they're at work or while they go on a trip. So it could be a multi-day stay. So when we think of concepts in the dog boarding brick and mortar, those are probably going to start more around the $325,000 to $350,000 range. So now, on a last note, what I would like to talk about is category number 5 of franchise trends of 2023, and that is going to be the food industry. Now, this is an area that, in all honesty, suffered terribly during COVID. So many places had to close up given COVID. But what we are seeing as a trend, and the food industry is always going to be there. There's always going to be a need for it. So it does tend traditionally to be a recession-resistant industry. But the areas to focus on in food would include quick serve restaurants. And I would go one step further and say quick serve restaurants that focus on more health focused offerings. So think of gourmet toast, juices, cold pressed juices, smoothies, acai bowls. Those types of concepts are really thriving in today's society. And then the second category that I would like to just highlight in this area would be breweries. The craft brewing business is huge in today's market. And there is a brewing concept that has emerged and is starting to gain legs and grow pretty quickly. And what is fabulous about this concept is that the franchise locations will not be doing the brewing in their specific location, but the brewer corporate office, in a sense of words, is the one that does all of the brewing and then distributes it to all the breweries across the United States. And with this concept, even though you do have your own brews that you feature, whether you have this brewery in Austin or Atlanta or New York City, no matter where the brewery resides, you can also feature other local craft beers. So this is another hot one to watch. So if you have an interest in learning about any of these concepts or franchising in general and what might be possible for you, please feel free to reach out to me at stacy@fusionfranchising.com, and I would love to assist you in becoming a business owner in 2023. Thank you and have a great day.